Welcome to Makin Music. My name is Dan Aronie and I'll be your host this week. We're taking a road trip all the way down to Southern California, El Cajon, to the Taylor Guitar Factory for a great tour. Come with us. I'm here with Chris Wellons, the production manager for Taylor Guitars in El Cajon, California, and we're in the milling production room right now. Can you tell us a little bit about this machine?
Sure. What we have here to begin with is a time saver sander. It's a 3-head sander, and we'll use a sander to sand our tops and backs and sides to finish the thickness. So as you see here, he's just sanding the tops. He's going to clean up one side, and then we'll take the rest off the back side of the top to the nominal thickness.
We are in the Fort Knox room of wood. This room is packed with stuff that's being prepared.
What we're seeing here is this rack behind us is full of sets of different varieties of wood. We have ovencal, sapele, walnut, rosewood, koa. All these sets are already matched, graded, and prepared. Each one of the sets has a match number on it at this point before it's introduced into production. So at this point, everything's matched up and they belong to one another, and they're mated from this point forward.
So these are the side bodies. This is the back.
Correct.
And they're matched. So this is number 3.
Correct.
And this is Hawaiian koa.
Yes, it is.
Beautiful piece of wood.
So what you see here is another set, walnut limited, match numbers, ready to go into production. Like I was saying before, all these sets match, ready to be put into production at this point.
And off to the laser machine.
Yes, sir.
And this is Henry, and he's cutting sides to the bodies.
At this point, the laser's profiling the sides to the correct shape. Once these are cut to shape, we'll bend them on the side bender, and you'll see that later in the segment.
Now, why laser? Does that give it the most precise cut?
It's the most accurate cut, and it's very quick, as you can see. What we'll do is have Henry pull these out and show us a profiled size as well. So he's pulling off that picture frame or the wasted wood there. And these are the profiled sides.
With the laser cuts. Great piece of wood.
Very nice. Thank you, Henry.
I'm with Michelle, who's doing the rosette inlays.
What Michelle's doing now is she's fitting each purfling by hand. So she'll trim that, fit that joint by hand. And she'll come back, add the purflings to the inside part of the rosette, and then she'll come full circle and install the abalone into that rosette as well before she glues it in place. As you can see, there's a lot of handwork going in here. She'll start now by adding in the abalone, which will hold the purflings in place as she circles around that rosette. Once she finishes installing this abalone, she'll come back with the cyanacrylate glue and glue these in place. Go. Here we are in side bending. We're watching Nick. He's going to load this set of sides into the bender. He's placing it on the tabs for locating points. He'll raise the waist up in here. He'll actually get this started to be bent. So as you can see here, we're bending the upper and the lower bouts at the same time. What's unique about these benders is these are built in-house at Taylor Guitars. They're automated, as you can tell. This plate here is heated up. What he's doing there is loading the next set of sides in, and he's going to pre-bend the waist on that set.
And I feel a lot of heat coming out of this.
A lot of heat on here. We're about 280 degrees on the surface.
Wow.
And we're bending this here. We've got just a sheet metal skin here on the outside, and these pistons are loaded with air, with pressure, so it's keeping it tight constantly. Once this is bent, it'll complete, and it's slightly overbent, as you can see by the shape here. It'll hold this in the press for about 3 minutes, and then once it's done, we'll go ahead and pull this out, lower the waist down, and put it in a cooling rack. Kevin's matched his kerfing up. He's trimming the ends. He's going to actually apply glue to the backside of the kerfing, check the surface, make sure there's glue coverage on everything. He's actually going to fit that right into the heel block and start kerfing this guitar. As he's holding that kerfing, he's manipulating around those curves, the upper bout there. As he works through there, you can see he's installing those kerfing clips. It's coming right around there and into the waist. So again, he's fitting that piece in there, guiding it with his hand, holding it in place. And he'll finish up with this side and then repeat the process on the other side there.
That's awesome. Now I see we're in bracing, body bracing.
We have 3 separate areas set up. They're bracing tops and backs with templates, as you can see. There's a plexiglass template there. Julieta's installing the braces on the top of the guitar. She's installing the fan braces now. And as you see, she's going to pull this vacuum on the top. The top's on a 35-foot radius platen. So the top sits in there and gets, you can see we're pulling vacuum down now. That'll hold the braces in place and actually vacuum them down and glue them in place. That'll be under pressure for 20 minutes. And when that comes out, we'll clean the excess glue off of it, and get it ready to build a guitar out of. Okay, Dan, what you see here is we're getting ready to assemble a body. He's applying glue to the surface. He's going to come through, spread the glue out. He's going to be coming right back your direction here. He's going to load this into the press, line up the back and the sides. Make sure that the glue joint's there, make sure everything's on center. Now he's going to come back and he's going to install the top. Again, making sure it's on center and in the correct spot. Now he's adding a top plate with the correct radius on it. Ready for the next body after he inspects the glue joint. This has been Benavente, the body department supervisor. He's binding this guitar. Added glue to the slot, and he's coming around the lower bout there down to the tail strip. As he works his binding, he's pushing and squeezing all the glue out. He's pulling it tight. He's going to come back and tape it off with tape. Checking for the fit, making sure everything's seated properly. And now he'll just follow up with some tape to hold it in place and let it dry overnight. This glue we're using here is just a yellow aliphatic resin. It's a 24-hour cure time. So again, he's going to pull that binding right up into the waist there. Get any excess glue off. Then tape it off.
We're in the spray booth right now. Tell us what's going on here.
Yeah, we got lucky. We caught this guitar getting ready to get a tobacco sunburst sprayed on it. So what you're seeing, he's going to prep the guitar, make sure there's nothing on it, dirt, debris. And then he's actually going to start shading and spraying tobacco color on the guitar.
Now I noticed the blue purfling around the sides, or the blue tape.
Blue tape, yes.
And that's just to protect the binding that's already on there.
Correct. That's detail. It's protecting the binding. So when we come back and do our cleanup work, all the detail work on the bindings, it's much easier to remove that tape and then clean and scrape to the detailed lines.
Oh, this is amazing.
So you can see he's laying down that initial sunburst there. This is done in several stages. He's going to add the first color now, make sure it's dark enough and the correct color, and everything's done by hand. So it's sighted by hand. Each guitar is unique. It's special in color. They're done by hand, so you're not going to get one that's identical to the next.
Right.
Beautiful.
Great
Thank
job.
you.
Thank you.
So here we are, Dan. We're at the Robo Spray bot. We're getting ready to spray some UV finish on this guitar. This process may look pretty simple at this point, but what we have is we have a guitar that's electrically charged, and we have finish that's electrically charged. And if you've ever seen any powder coating on metals or anything like that, this is done in the same fashion. We're adding finish. It's clinging to the guitar as it moves under that head. And you can see the overspray is minimal. We don't have a bunch of overspray just blowing past the guitar. Once we're done coating the top and the back, we'll then coat the sides of the guitar. What we'll do is we'll go around the other side of the spray booth and we'll check out the guitar coming out and actually going through a UV oven and getting the finish cured in a matter of seconds.
Great. It's an amazing process.
So what we're seeing here is the robot will finish up with this next guitar and it'll load it onto the handle there and turn out. And as you can see to our left here, we have guitars already on a rack sitting and waiting to be cured.
And how long does the curing take?
The curing is going to take us approximately 13 seconds for the first time through, and that'll give it a final tack coat. It'll be cured up, and then we'll run it through another series of 2 or 3 times through the UV oven to fully cure the finish. So this next guitar is about to get dropped off here. So this guitar is dropped off. We'll pull it off of the rack. And it'll just go onto this rack and it'll hang, which allows some of the solvent to escape while we're waiting. Mm-hmm. As you can see to your left, we've got a guitar that just came out of the oven. We're ready to put another one in.
So does that mean the oven actually cooked the finish on?
Yeah, the oven's a little bit misleading. What's curing the finish is actually UV light. So it's not heat, it's light. The heat is actually damaging to the wood, to the guitar, and to the finish itself. That oven, so to speak, is temperature controlled and humidity controlled as well. So we're keeping the temperature down in there, but you can see the guitar rotating inside of there. It's rotating in front of UV light, which is curing the finish. So that finish is cured now. It's dry to the touch. If you were to touch it, that guitar's dry. And we'll continue with this process with the other guitars coming out of the robot and also going into the oven.
I see we got a bin of T5 bodies with some amazing pieces of wood.
Yeah, these are beautiful tops here. We're doing a lot of custom order type of things here. We've got a T5 quilted maple top with amber stain on it. Really beautiful, deep quilt.
Amazing piece of wood.
Nice top. This isn't even buffed yet, so it's just rubbed out.
Yep.
Once it's glossed up, it's going to be beautiful. Another stunning top here is this cocobolo top with sapwood. Sapwood on the joint, sapwood on the outside corners as well. Just a beautiful set of wood.
That definitely has wow factor going
Yes, it
for it.
does. Again, more varieties of cocobolo.
Amazing grain. Looks like we're buffing up a batch of T5 bodies right now.
Yes, we are. We've got 2 loaded here on the pallet, getting ready to be buffed, and we've got 1 being buffed right now. As you can see, the automated buffer really gets in there and does its job. Buffs right around the horn of that cutaway and inside the cutaway. Start buffing the back there.
So the computer puts in a sequence that this thing goes through to buff it in a certain way.
Correct. So each model, each body size has its own program built into the monitor. So right now it's on a T5 buffing program. When we switch over to acoustic bodies, we'll load the correct program for the body shape, whether it's a GA or a GC or a jumbo.
Is it just as easy as just changing a little switch and going T5 or Dreadnought or
correct? It's a computer program, so you pull up the program you want to run and enter that program and start it up.
And you can do it that quick.
Yep.
Oh, that's great. We're in the ES Systems pickup winding area where they're actually winding the pickup on premise.
What Chua's doing here is she's winding the neck pickup there. She's actually going to solder on the leads, adding some flux. Soldering on those leads to the actual pickup there. And what you see in front of Chua right now is a pickup is actually winding in front of her. So what you can see is she's now wound all the copper wire here around the bobbin. We've glued the magnets in place. And she came back and pulled the copper wire up through these lead contacts, the eyelets, and soldered those in place.
We're now looking at the ES body sensors that they use for their electronic pickups.
Okay, what you see Leo doing here is he's loading these sensors into jigs that we've made here in-house. And he's lining them up, getting them ready to install ferrofluid in there. He's loading in the ferrofluid now. You can see it filling up there.
Now, what does this fluid do?
The fluid's actually suspending the magnet inside of the sensor. It allows it to vibrate and move within the sensor. So what you see Leo doing now is he's adding the adhesive there, which is a UV cured adhesive. Now he's ready to install the foot or the cap on these sensors. Now he's installing them into the UV oven. They'll be subjected to UV light, and that'll cure that glue on the cap.
We're in the neck room, and it is really loud. Tell us about this, Chris.
What we have here is the first process of the neck blank. Neck's coming together. We've got the peg head glued on, the heel ready to be glued on. We're going to follow these necks through some processes here, and I'm going to show you the fretboards being made, peg head veneers being made. We'll also take you through the final stages of the fretting of the neck, the carving, and the sanding of the necks as well. So let's go take a look.
Okay, let's go.
All right.
Now, Chris, you could tell me what the name of this machine is probably 10 times, and I won't remember it, so fill me in again.
This manufacturer, this machine is Fidal, and it's a computer numerical controlled machine.
That's easy for you to say.
Easy for me to say. Basically what we're doing is we're running lines of information through the machine telling it where to cut and what to cut. Right now I'm going to take you through the process of actually pocketing the guitar.
Okay.
And trimming the paddle of the neck, ready for assembly on the
Well, I can see this is
neck.
almost done right here.
Yes, this one's almost finished up, and I'm going to take you through the next one on the next guitar.
Oh, great,
so let's
okay.
go ahead and take a look at that.
Let's go.
At this point, we load the guitar into a CNC machine onto a pocketing fixture. Now we'll begin to watch the pocket being cut. Now we'll start trimming the heel area on the guitar. At this point, we'll come in and rough cut the paddle area and then do the final detail with a smaller, more detailed cutter. At this point, we're trimming an area for the shim to fit in, which allows us to set our neck angle. That concludes this process at this stage.
And we're with Lindsay at Final Assembly.
So here we have Lindsay. She's getting ready to add the neck to the body. She just installed the neck into the pocket. She'll tighten up the heel bolt. Now she'll come in and install the paddle bolt. So she's sighting the angle of the neck, making sure it's the correct height against the bridge.
So there's quite a few steps going on right now.
Many steps. As you just watched, she fit the saddle into the bridge. Now she's cutting the string height on her nut.
You ever have competitions who strings the guitar the fastest?
Last but not least, before the guitar gets shipped, she'll install the truss rod cover, and the guitar will be final inspected. So as Lindsay does the final details on this guitar by touching it up and inspecting it, let's go take a look at a rack of guitars that's ready to go down to shipping.
Okay. And here we are in final inspection. We've come all the way through everything.
Yes,
What's happening
have.
here?
What's going on here is all the guitars have made it all the way through final assembly now, and Eric's the last touch of the guitar before it goes out of here. So he's inspecting the guitar again, making sure it passes everything on quality control, inspecting the guitar one last time, double checking the electronics, etc., etc., etc. on the guitar. This is just before they go down to shipping. They'll be loaded on these carts and taken down to shipping after this process.
Great. Here we are in shipping and receiving, the last step in the process from beginning to end, and tell us what's finally going on in this last process.
All right, well, we've made it down here. We've taken the guitars from final assembly. They've been quality control inspected. They're now in shipping, and these guys are giving them a once-over, making sure the options are correct. They're casing the guitars, and they're getting ready to box them up and ship them out.
Now, how many guitars a day do you try to get out of the factory?
Right now, we're doing approximately 200 guitars a day out of this factory.
Amazing.
Yep.
What a process it's been. I mean, I really want to thank you for letting me join you guys today and giving me this great tour of Taylor Guitars.
Not a problem.
Chris,
It's been our pleasure.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you so much. And this is Dan from Makin Music. Thanks for joining us today, and I hope we can do it again real soon.